28-year-old Chukwuebuka Nwaobodo has been charged with murdering and dismembering 24-year-old Felicia Johnson after investigators say her blood was found in his Houston, Texas apartment. Felicia had recently arrived in Houston, Texas from San Diego, California, and one of the last places she was seen was at a strip club in Little York as she applied for work there. The pair had been communicating over Snapchat, where Chukwuebuka agreed to pay Felicia $500 to go to his apartment. The authorities were able to connect Chukwuebuka to the case after subpoenaed Uber records showed that he ordered a car that collected Felicia from the Intercontinental Hotel, where she had been staying, to the suspect's old address in Windchase Boulevard on the 16th of April. Chukwuebuka then picked her up from that location and took her to his new place along Richmond Avenue. On the 16th and 17th of April, Chukwuebuka bought a handsaw and power saw, towels, and trash bags, and he searched the internet for things like can bleach destroy DNA, how to get away with murder, how to be a serial killer, and the most forested part of Houston. He also googled Houston escorts. Felicia's bloodied phone and purse were found in Bear Creek Park. On the 13th of May, the authorities detained Chukwuebuka after finding blood, weapons, receipts and supplies in his car, and blood in his apartment. Investigators also found pictures of a dismembered woman and 3 dead bodies on his phone. He was questioned, then released pending further investigation. On the 9th of June, the authorities confirmed that the blood they found in his apartment belonged to Felicia. Although a body hasn't been found, Chukwuebuka was charged with murdering and dismembering Felicia. The authorities, however, are unable to locate him to arrest him as he's currently on the run. 32-year-old Arnaldo Coronel is behind bars after fatally shooting a woman. The incident occurred at around 7:36 p.m. on the 12th of June 2022, outdoors in the 6400 block of South Kilbourne Avenue in Chicago, Illinois, in West Lawn Park. 2 women were arguing when Arnaldo approached them and fired shots, striking 21-year-old Alexis Pedraza in the head and body. Alexis was transported to the Advocate Christ Medical Center in Oak Lawn, where she was pronounced dead. Alexis was spending the night out with some friends, and she leaves behind an 8-month-old baby. On the 16th of June, Arnaldo was arrested and charged with Alexis's murder, and he's held without bond. 24-year-old daycare worker Taylor Burris is behind bars after she allegedly shook a 7-week-old infant girl in her care to death after she wouldn't stop crying. Taylor contacted the authorities at around 2:05 p.m. on the 17th of May 2022 on a report of an unresponsive baby girl at an in-home daycare center located at 125 Valerian Drive in Forsyth, Illinois. When first responders arrived at the scene, they rushed the infant to the St. John Hospital in Springfield, where she died overnight. While the child was in the hospital, Taylor googled the term shaken baby syndrome. An autopsy determined that the baby died from blunt force trauma to the head. She suffered from bleeding on the brain, as well as other internal head injuries. Taylor initially told the investigators that the infant became sick after getting hit by a softball at the daycare center at around 10:40 a.m. She said that the baby started crying after the ball struck her in the head, and that her condition gradually worsened, leading her to call 911. But when she was re-interviewed on the 14th of June, Taylor said the infant had been hit by a tennis ball. But when that didn't account for her injuries, she admitted that she shook the infant out of frustration over her crying after the ball hit her. She was arrested and charged with aggravated battery resulting in death and involuntary manslaughter. On the 15th of June, she appeared in court sobbing during a bond hearing. She's held at the Macon County Jail on a $250,000 bond. 66-year-old Evelyn Henderson has been arrested and charged with murdering her 84-year-old husband Carmen Henderson. The events unfolded at around 5 a.m. on the 16th of June 2022, when the authorities responded to a call for a death investigation located at 306 Stewart Place in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. She told the authorities that her husband had died after setting himself on fire and that she heard her husband yell at around 1 a.m, but she didn't call 911. She couldn't explain why she didn't ring when she knew he was on fire. Officers found Carmen's lifeless body in the back patio with severe burns, no clothes, and fly larvae in his mouth and nostrils. The police said that the presence of the eggs indicated that the death was not recent. It's also unclear if he was alive when he caught fire. When the investigators questioned Evelyn, she changed her story several times, saying her husband's pants caught fire by accident, that it was suicide, and that a cigar started the fire. The police said that the physical evidence was inconsistent with Evelyn's story. During the investigation, the authorities discovered the couple were severely in debt, and Evelyn admitted to spending all their money from their business, Henderson Limousines, which had since closed. Evelyn said the money was spent on vacation homes, day spas, and other self-indulgent activities. The couple had a $40,000 second mortgage on their home. They were delinquent on their taxes, and they were told their property was going to be seized. The investigators also discovered a $10,000 life insurance for Carmen, and were told by Evelyn that she believed that she would be homeless if they lost their home. She said that Carmen would live with his children from another marriage, however she was not welcome to live with the children. The authorities said it was improbable that Carmen Henderson died by a fire started by a cigar. Evelyn was arrested that same day and charged with criminal homicide, aggravated arson, and arson resulting in danger of death or bodily injury. She's held at the Dauphin County Prison without bail.